Hey everyone. So I've been playing Kerbal Space Program lately, and I thought it might be interesting to share some of what I've been up to in this game. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to go over the design for the space station I'm putting in orbit around Kerbin, the planet you start on. For some general stats, the whole space station weighs about 284,000 kilograms. There's no cost in this game, so really the cost field doesn't mean anything, but apparently it would cost 230,500 something um, if I actually had to pay for it. But with that, let's go ahead and get right into what the modules are and what they all do. The first module, of course, is the habitation module. This one's designed to be pretty much self-sufficient when it goes up. It's just some lander cans, which will hold 4 Kerbals each, and the cockpit here, which holds 1 Kerbal for a total of 9 in the whole station. It's also got some basic RCS and fuel for some simple maneuvering, some small solar panels, a stabilizer unit, and a battery. And that's pretty much everything that goes up with this part. I also put some communication gear on there, mostly just for looks, since it doesn't really do anything yet. But seems to me if you put a space station up there, you've got to have a way to talk back to the planet, right? The next segment is the docking ring. This is for docking particularly manned ships to the station. It's pretty simple, just a fuel tank with 6 of these long docking arms with shielded docking ports on the end, plus some RCS fuel. Really, I don't want fuel stored in here. I probably wouldn't normally keep fuel this close to a habitation ring if it were an actual space station, but there's just no structural part that has the same form factor that is not also a fuel tank. So that's what it is for this particular section. Next up, we have the power section. I based this pretty heavily on a design by Scott Manley for his Reusable Space Program. Um, in fact, it's pretty much identical except for modified to use these larger docking ports on either end. I also added stabilizers because I prefer them to RCS for simple station rotation. And I put some bigger batteries on it because I thought it looked cooler. Other than that, though, it's basically the same design. 4 large solar panels, 4 of the atomic decay generators for when there is no sunlight, and with all that I should be generating plenty of power for the whole station. Next up we have the RCS fuel storage. This is going to be used to fuel the construction tug that we'll go over later. That's going to build most of this in space once I get the pieces up there. Other than that, the station, of course, can use the RCS to move and maneuver as necessary. I probably won't be doing too much of that just because I'm quite sure it would take a ridiculous amount of fuel to move something this large, and I'm not even sure how well it would hold together attempting to do that. But I suppose it is an option. After that, we have the fuel docking ring. This is a specialized docking ring for fuel canisters, which you can see below. The whole point here is just to have a ton of fuel connected to the station so that any ships that connect to the upper docking ring will be able to refuel from these fuel tanks. Ideally giving this whole station a purpose, because otherwise it's just, kind of a neat thing floating in space. But with all the fuel tanks here, I'd be able to use it to refuel after getting into orbit and then going off to other places, which will make some more interesting ship designs possible. And also it makes it to where I could potentially do that with, say, a reusable craft, as opposed to something that's going to shed a lot of its parts on the way up in order to conserve fuel for the longer trip out to wherever it's going to go. I already mentioned the fuel cans, but they are pretty simple. It's got capacity for up to 6 of them. There's not much to them other than the fuel can and some docking ports. But I do have docking ports on both sides of the cans, which means I could theoretically connect more fuel canisters to the existing fuel canisters and have basically a fully extensible storage system. I don't know why I would ever need that much fuel, but it is kind of a nice design. The last piece we have here is the construction tug. It's pretty much just some RCS tanks and a remote control system. It's, obviously equipped to be able to operate independently. I will actually send this up most likely with the power section, since that's one of the lighter pieces that I'm going to be sending up earlier on, just so that I have something to build this station with. The thing I'm going to be using to launch all this stuff up into orbit is not exactly agile, so this will probably make it easier for me to get everything connected and docked. But that's pretty much it for the whole station. Obviously, I have to put a lot of this up in space still, so we'll see how well it works once it's up there. This is version 2 of the design. I uploaded a video earlier that I took down because I realized I had made some mistakes in the design. Sorry for those of you that have been trying to watch that video. But I did get a few comments on that one that led to some of the redesigns in this one, particularly this docking ring. And I really like how it came out after the redesign. So I'd say overall, this is a much improved design over the previous one. Anyway, I'll be posting some videos of constructing this thing once I get them edited down to size so that I can put them on YouTube, and put some sound and things to them so that they're a little higher quality than this video, and I won't be stumbling through minutes and minutes of talking. With that though, thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll watch some of the next videos. Thanks. Bye.